Week 5 of Super Rugby is in the record books. Now, our Sport24 editor Garen and chief writer Rob are joining me in studio to talk about if their predictions were correct. Now, Garen, you weren't here on Friday, so Herman filled your shoes and made predictions on your behalf. Right. So why don't you walk us through the first game and let us know if the predictions that were made on your behalf were correct.
Well, Herman did probably better than I did, so that's the good news. The first game was the Chiefs at home against the Stormers. The Stormers, on tour at the moment, are playing against the two-time defending champion Chiefs. And the Chiefs, as we predicted, or Herman predicted, did win. And they won fairly comfortably in the end. It did get close towards the end, but they scored 2 late tries, I think, to maybe even flatter themselves a little bit on the scoreboard. But the Stormers season, again, stuttering along. They've looked better than they did in their 2 matches in South Africa before they departed on their tour, but still not clicking. There's something just not gelling, if you like, I think, Rob. And they don't have an easy game coming up, but we'll look at that later in the week. But so things not looking good for the Cape side. They picked up some more injuries. I see Yakutauta's out for this weekend, so they're constantly having to change their team, which isn't ideal, looking for a settled starting 15. So I fear the season is going to be a bit of a middle of the road for the Stormers. Nothing, no playoff hopes, I fear. So I don't know what you think, Rob, but that's what I'm predicting.
Yes, Jen, it's going to be another tough week for them. They're still on tour, and when you're losing on tour, of course, the tour becomes a long tour, regardless of how long it actually is. But they've also, the other big doubt they have this week is around the Jean de Villiers-Schalkberger captaincy issue, because Jean de Villiers is struggling with an injury. And I see that in the Stormers press release, they put out a thing saying that the team announcement would be Alistair Coetzee plus one of Jean de Villiers or Schalkberger. So clearly there must be some concern about Jean de Villiers.
Right.
Having said that, of course, Schalkberger is a very competent leader, was the captain of the Stormers, before his own long-term injury. So that shouldn't disrupt them too much. But as Garen says, lots of injuries, which doesn't help continuity, doesn't give them that much of a chance of knocking over the Brumbies.
All right, so that was game 1, Rob. Game 2, what were your predictions like?
Game 2 was the Cheetahs game in New Zealand, and they were absolutely annihilated by the Hurricanes, which is a very bad result in itself, because the Hurricanes have been a very wobbly side themselves. So it tells you everything about the Cheetahs sort of bungling this season. I think they conceded something like 9 tries, was it, Garen, which is a really ugly return. And that tells you that all they want to do is get on that plane home. Sadly, they've still got another match to come, so there could be more agony for them. But you've got to suggest that the Cheetahs are probably also runs this season.
Absolutely. I mean, they're looking like wooden spooners, I would say, in the South African conference. They just don't have much on attack, and their defence is woeful at the moment. So unlucky for the Bloemfontein side.
Indeed.
Oh, well, sad second game. What about the third match? Was it any better, Garrett?
It did. Things got a little bit better for the South African sides in the 3rd and 4th matches. The 3rd game was at Ellis Park between the Lions and the Blues. A little bit of controversy in this game. A couple of referee and TMO decisions that went in the favour of the Lions. And they only ended up winning by 3 points. And if those decisions hadn't gone in their favour, they again could have ended up on the losing side. But they had a fantastic first half. I think they led 20-0 at the first.
It was 17-0 half-time.
17-0 at the half-time break. Marnot Boshoff doing fantastic things again at Flav. I don't think Elton Jantjies is going to get another chance at number 10. So he's doing fantastic things, top of the point scoring list, another couple of drop goals, keeping the scoreboard ticking over. So the Lions, they were pretty woeful in the second half. I think they conceded 5 tries. They only scored 3 of their own in scoring 39 points in total. So they only picked up the 4 bonus points. So a win is a win. They still have to tour and all that. So I don't, things could get a little bit ugly for them as well. But they'll settle for the 4 points this weekend for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've got a bit of egg on my face about the Lions this season, Jen, because I said that they were going to be very, very weak. I think I suggested at the outset that they might battle to even match what the Kings did last season in getting 3 wins and a draw. The Lions have already got 3 wins, and they've got umpteen matches still to go. So prospects do look pretty good for them to actually go better than the Kings did. Remember that they've replaced the Kings in Super Rugby for the time being anyway, and they really have been a surprise packet. I thought they were absolutely magnificent in the first half. They really sort of had a go, and they also got a try just before half time when it looked as though they might go for the post, but they actually saw the try option, went for it and scored, and in the end it actually counted for a lot, because they needed that big margin, because the Blues did hit them back quite hard in the second half. So that was actually quite a clincher in a sense, but the Lions go on, and full marks to them, a really unsung side.
Okay, great. And the last game, how did that go down, Garen?
The last game was the Sharks at home against the Reds. Again, the Sharks, pretty much what they've done every match this season. They look fantastic for certain parts of the game, and then they just seem to fall asleep. You know, I don't know what happened. The second half, I think there were patches that they had 10% of the possession in the territory. The Reds came back at them strongly. Again, I see the Reds are grumpy with the referee on the day as well. He blew them out of the game. The first half, I think the Sharks landed something like a record 6 penalties that they actually kicked over, let alone awarded. So they're a little bit upset, and perhaps rightly so. But they march on. They're still top of not only the South African conference, but the overall log as well. So, you know, they've got a fantastic draw in that they're playing all their matches in South Africa. We talked about this, I think, in week 1. They're picking up all these points before they actually need to go on tour.
Yeah.
So they're banking them now. Jake White obviously doing fantastic things in Durban. So looking good for the Sharks. They just seem to be marching on. So yeah, good things.
Yeah, they've actually still got, I think, 2 or possibly even 3 matches still on South African soil before they even go on their tour. So there's more chance to pick up momentum, and you know, potentially go sort of, you know, 5 from 5 or 6 from 6, which really is a bit of a runaway start. That said, I suppose the Chiefs are also going pretty strongly. That win against the Stormers sent out a strong signal that they certainly intend to retain their title. Right. And I think, as I said in a column over the weekend, I do think that smart money is still, as had been expected perhaps at the outset, on a Sharks Chiefs possible final. Of course, you can never tell what will happen in the final series and who will play who, but those two look like potentially the strongest bets. The one thing that impressed me about the Sharks was the way that they did eventually close out the game after having that little wobbly spell after halftime, and as you say, going to sleep. They did then realize they had to turn the screws, and they did so quite impressively. They suddenly just went onto the front foot and actually finished the game in that fashion and won it by 15 points, which at the end of the day, controversy or no controversy, is a good result.
Cool. I can't wait to see what happens in week 6. Now, if you each had to pick one MVP from this weekend, who would it be, Garen?
I'm going to go again for the Lions Flower of Marnitz Boshoff. You know, he seems to be a bit of a one-man team at the moment, and he's kicking all their penalties, all their drop goals, all their conversions, even scoring the odd try. So they're banking a lot on him at the moment, but he's delivering. So that's all they can hope for, and long may it continue for the Lions.
Right.
I'm going to go for Marcel Coetzee from the Sharks. I thought he put in a really impressive shift. He was all over the show. He was great on defence. He was strong as a ball carrier as well. He was the sort of classic case of the sort of modern flanker who can almost be a number 6 or a number 7 in the same jersey, if you like. You know, executing turnovers, but making good yards on the attack. Very forceful game from him, and a nice balance to the Sharks' loose tree at the moment with him and Willem Alberts on the blind side, and then Ryan Kankowski with his athleticism and also good form and work rates at number 8. So I thought Marcel Coetzee was very good.
Okay, well, you guys are getting better with your predictions. How can people watching this video challenge your predictions on the website and follow live updates when the games are on?
Well, the easiest thing to do would be bookmark sport24.co.za. Log on every day, see what we're doing, read the articles. If you've got pictures, send them to us. If you've got any opinions on the referees and the TMOs, certainly send us your thoughts as well. Send us your predictions. We'll put them up into articles. We'll put up your pictures in galleries. So that's definitely the best way to get involved.
Great. Well, I'll see you guys on Friday.
Thanks, Jen.